Here we are in episode 46 of the Simple Success Podcast. This is financial life coaching from a happiness perspective. Coaching happiness. When you change you change everything. I guess going to a thing like Burning Man would be a change, right? I imagine it would, DT, yeah. Why on earth would you be talking about it here? And what is it? One question at a time, DT. You know how I like to focus, and famously, the desert gathering known as Burning Man does not have a single focus. What could a thing like that be focused on? Community? Not 6 feet apart, probably. Artwork? An artistic hallmark is in the eye of the beholder. Absurdity. I'll consult some creative spirits and get back to you on that. Decommodification. Ouch! That is one big word. What does it mean? Getting rid of money, I think, in a spirit of gifting. Oh, so you can't have money and happiness at the same time? Actually, DT, you can. And, that's what we're all about here. It does take a special effort to have money and be happy. Yeah, to know where one stops and the other starts. Yes. So what would be the point of your going? Good cue, DT. It's a paradigm shift. A what? A paradigm shift. A different way of looking at things. Oh, you mean like we preach on this pod? Yes, that's right, DT. And that makes for a great segue. Into what? Into the introduction of the long-awaited idea of paradigm shifts into our little civil society. Okay, go on. You know how people will sometimes encourage you to change your wording? Maybe. Give me an example. Sure. So maybe you say, instead of saying, I have to fill in the blank or do something, you're encouraged to say, I get to fill in the blank or do something. Okay, I'm with you. Now, let's apply that idea to paradigm shifts. How do we do that? By mixing hard with easy. How often? Every day. Mix hard with easy every day? Yes, DT. Mix hard with easy every day. That way, it doesn't end up being all that hard. I learned the Russian alphabet that way, by setting it to an already familiar tune. Which is a pretty deep rabbit hole, mon ami. Right, so back to the paradigm shift. If I refuse to envision myself as being a burner, as attendees to Burning Man are called, then I could very well be limiting the very learning and connection we all need to make this work. Or maybe that's not the case. Right, DT, and don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that going would complete any connection, nothing of the sort. But that doesn't mean I'm okay with limiting what might happen. After all, the Russian thing seems to be working out as well as the Spanish and French thing. And the Shakespeare thing, thou foul defacer of God's handiwork. DT rhymes with Richard III. I did advise you to keep your day job, right? Yes, you did, DT. And I advise you to not keep your current paradigms. Throw them all out? The ones that aren't serving you, specifically helping you, toward one or more of your goals, yes, throw those ones out. Others might just need to be improved. Each is on a case-by-case basis. But do something. Change how you look at things. Are you connecting this to Burning Man? I am. How I look at whether or not I would go to such a thing is everything. How I look at it is everything. You said that. And I meant it. It's true. I can't very well express positive faith in my having gone from 0 to 60, figuratively speaking, in the podcast creation world this past year, and then say I would never go to this festival. Is it a festival? Actually, no, it's not. Thanks for catching that. It's a city wherein almost everything that happens is created entirely by its citizens, who are active participants in the experience. They make sure to include everyone and everything and leave no trace of themselves or of the activity itself behind. I don't know whether to ask you more about Burning Man or more about paradigm shifts. Let me help you there. We're going to be slowly and carefully introducing paradigm shifts into just about everything over many future pods, so you can focus on Burning Man for right here and now. Okay, I'll do that. as soon as we get back. Hello, everyone. This is John with the Simple Success Podcast, financial life coaching from a happiness perspective. Because we know you want to show us some serious love in return for the tremendous benefits you get from us. Please head over to the support link in our written show notes. That's the words on your podcast player. There, you can choose from a $9.99 per month doing level of support, a $4.99 knowing level, or a basic intro level of just 99 cents per month. Whichever you choose, thank you so much for helping us do this for you. To leave us a voice message which just might see the light of day in a future podcast, go to those same written show notes. You'll go to a site where you can leave a video, audio, or text-only message, depending on how you feel at the moment. You can also send us an audio file attached to an email if you use more than just your phone for stuff. I won't repeat those links because weird. And anyway, show notes. It's all in there, and it's all easy. Is there any competition? There is a thing called Further Future, which is another annual event, except it's far more tech-centric and luxurious. It's a bunch of Burning Man tech industry alums who apparently didn't think a temporary city in the desert was all that. They also thought that Wi-Fi was a pretty good idea, and that's apparently something you don't find much of in Black Rock City or Black Rock Desert. How do we stay in touch with these bohemian roots and/or learn more? You can Google Burning Man Journal and Jackrabbit Speaks, and there's always @BurningMan on Twitter. It's really popular. In 2018, 26,000 tickets reportedly sold in the first half hour. And that doesn't even begin to account for post-pandemic demand. Right, it might even be worth that roll around in the dust that first-time participants reportedly get not have to, get to do. Roll around in the dust. Yes. Last question. What's the significance of the Burning Man itself? Oh, that can be debated all day. It's just an early community creation that stuck around. Can I connect it to Zozobra? To who, DT? Zozobra, the burning guy in Santa Fe, New Mexico. Oh, the one where you write down the things you want to get rid of, and then you put those written things inside the Zozobra giant? Yes, that's the one. And then the creative cooperation starts. The giant gets set on fire, and your and everybody else's things get burnt. Go with this. How else might I think of it? Well, like with the paradigm shift of mine about jumping into some sort of mutant vehicle and going to Burning Man, yes, I could write on a sheet of paper that I would never go there. After which, and then I would place that paper inside the Zozobra. Oh, I like that kind of personal participation. And then watch it burn? Yo, that's the idea. Can I Google that? Yep, just type in Zozobra. It'll find it. Right, Alexa? Alexa, what can you tell me about Zozobra, the burning giant in Santa Fe, New Mexico?
Zozobra stands 50 feet high and is a giant marionette effigy constructed of wood, wire and cotton cloth that is built and burned prior to the annual Fiestas de Santa Fe in Santa Fe, New Mexico. He embodies gloom and anxiety. By burning him, people destroy the worries and troubles of the previous year in the flames.
Have you ever done this? I have, with a little grill behind my house back in Washington State. I wrote a few things on a sheet of paper. What things? I don't even remember anymore, which is kind of the point, since I don't believe them anymore either. But then I put that paper on the grill outside on the patio and lit it on fire. It seems a little silly, but it works. It really helps. Is there a good, clean way to connect this sort of unofficial event into investing? What do you mean by clean? No ashes from burning? Maybe, if doing any real burning prevents anyone from winning using radical acts of gift-giving, even to themselves like this. Well, I don't know if it's clean, but it works. It probably needs a break first, though. Yes, no reason to take any chances there, right? No, but everybody, get a piece of paper and a pen or pencil, now. We know a lot about you already because we know ourselves. For example, we know that you know how to listen to our podcast. We also know that you probably know how to subscribe. The reason every podcast asks you this is because when you subscribe, you automatically download all future episodes of that podcast. This means better rankings for the podcast, more attention from advertisers and more money. And this means more and better stuff for you. So your motivation is simple and easy. Subscribe today, wherever you get your favorite podcasts. Oh, and don't just try to subscribe. There is no try. There is only do. We're changing the way we look at things. And remember, that's good. Eso es bueno. C'est bon. Also remember, this is financial life coaching from a happiness perspective. Coaching happiness. Our call to action is right in the show notes. Find it and you win too. So what's the communal effort here? What are you going to have everyone do, DT? With the pencil and paper? Yes, or the pen and paper, whichever they pick. Either works. I figure you'd want them to write down a goal they think is wild. Well, in some cases, I'm sure I would. I just need to know more about your plan first. Oh, this is really your plan, at least as you taught me. Okay then, tell me my plan. Tell them, you mean? Right. I want my plan to be told the way I planned. Then you tell it that way. You mean me tell my plan? That's where I'm going. And I see what you did there, but okay, here I go. This goal of yours, dear listener, I feel like I want to revisit the idea of A, B, and C goals, and we will, but we're going to dedicate a whole show to that in the near future, so we'll wait for now. So, this whatever level goal they have. Yes, TT, they're all C goals for now. Which is a really big goal. Yes, that you are maybe not even sure you can do. And you write it down. Like what? Like, I will invest $100 every week. If that's a number of significance to you, a number not sure you can do, you write it down? Yes, you write it down. Oh, and then you burn it. You watch it burn. You get close, where you can smell it and feel it, because that's where you'll know it no longer has any power over you. You'll know you can do it. Yes, you have the money, the resources, the knowledge, the confidence. You are ready to win. And you are ready to practice winning some more. But you have to remember to practice. Remember. Practice. Remember. Practice. And what do you do in order to remember? You practice and all you need to do is practice, after which you'll get good. Gracias por escuchar. A la próxima. In this Simple Success podcast, as well as in our webinars and masterclasses, we very much want to hear your story. Well, to be real, in future episodes of the podcast, webinars, and masterclasses. And this means you. Your participation is critical to our mutual simple success. It's important to know how you think what you've thought, what you've tried, and what you've been unsure of trying, as we told you at the beginning. And as you also find in the show notes, we have ways you can contact us. It involves a special link where you can leave us a voice message, which just might see the light of day in a future podcast. We may have an email address for you as well in the future, and we'll let you know if that happens. Together, we're going to make it great. We're going to do what even we didn't think possible. This podcast and our other podcast are productions of Little Red Hen Industries. The supporting cast who helps me bake the bread includes Techno King John C. Brandy, fact checker Abraham Lincoln, French consultant Virginia Mitchell, media expert Favor Abasi Ike, psychologist Sigmund Freud, rabbit hole advisor Dr. Marg Parrott, sound designer Guglielmo Marconi, Spanish consultant Cameron J.K. Brandy, videographer Alfred Hitchcock, audio props Les Paul, and inspiration goes to Napoleon Hill, Earl Nightingale, and Bob Proctor. We also have a website, and you can subscribe to both podcasts. You can even send us a video, audio, or text message, but of course, you'll have to head to the show notes, either on your phone or on the web, to actually get links and stuff. I mean, I could read the URLs where you could subscribe, support, or leave one of those video or audio messages, but you really don't want me to do that. And those explicit and clickable links are in the show notes. Finally, you can find us on Podmatch, where we consider guests, as well as consider guesting on other people's pods. And really, finally, the music for our pods comes from Cute by Ben Sound, and from Piano Background by Nick Simon Adams, both on freesound.org.